Hello, and welcome to another episode of Inspiring Instinct. I am E.R. Vogel, local poet and fellow overthinker. And today we are going to talk about different styles of conflict. Every story, like I talked about last time, has characters, mostly a hero, somebody to pay attention to and relate to. But what's a hero if they don't have something to contrast to their lifestyle? And a very common way to see this is a hero versus villain. It's the most convenient and widespread way to explain good versus evil, a very carnal detail in life in general and why art exists in the first place. Then there is always hero versus nature, or hero versus God or the universe. There's a lot of different ways you could fill this in. But it is mostly commonly shown in harsh conditions. Somebody trying to survive winter or lost at sea. But it shows that survival is a huge part of understanding life, and that some things are inevitable, and that you have to just accept some shit doesn't go your way. Third, we have the hero versus self. This is most commonly shown with heartbreak or grieving of some kind, or a lot in the indie world and existential crisis. You'll see a lot of surrealism, a lot of wavy things that don't feel real, and it's just somebody losing their mind. That's it. It's very simple. But these are the most common ways you'll see conflict in any form. And I wrote something that is a mix of all three, I think. Clouds are needy varmints. These subjective motifs represented by old trinkets mostly, while a contrarian argues particular ones look more like our childhood pets from the farm, familiarize memory with a lull as well as inherent combativeness just because. We just decided to never fucking agree on the one passing over the mountains being a cat or a teddy bear. Watching one form into a robot ready for its head to pop off as I already start to form my argument against him thinking it's mom's favorite duck she'd feed at the pond or some shit reminds me of one early evening. We debated too long over whether one very large cloud looked more like our old toy xylophone or his favorite Mar Maria. The crops weren't kind that summer. Neither was I. Until Maria's spirit heard me speak ill of her, until it started with a dripping drizzle off the distant gutter, sounding like Tinker Toys playing a lazy melody. It had as shitty a rhythm as my own sense of timing can create, while soil drank and food began to wake. This broken metronome made my intentions feel more like distractions than improvement. Shivering pines in a different distance scare the birds. They screech their song of warning and protection, but a horse's wrath moves faster than a raven's fear. The gallops of thunder approached closer and closer after every blink of lightning, making the music more disorderly, and the stress of me being wrong again darkened the sky, imitating true evening too early. I was proven wrong, and showed how much love she will always provide with the heaviest downpour a sad, almost forgotten power can create. Since then, the gutter learned how to count thunder. The pines maintained defending stability. The council of clouds converged and formed a plan to figure out balance between feeding the world and teaching me a lesson without devastation. The robot begins to melt into something else Mother enjoyed. Her self-made leather jacket hanging on a rack her father made, waiting all by its lonesome, waiting on a cool, almost rainy day. The perfect early autumn evening like today to keep her warm and still show off how well she understood how to care for animals, from birth to death to tanning. Not use in the sense of exploit, but use as in a sign of respect, putting every piece to purpose. Our bones built strong, our bellies were full, what growing boys needed. The least she could have is a coat crafted with love and grief. I look at a screen door in the distance. On the other side of it hangs this jacket. A breeze from a different distance proves that a worn-out short sleeve is not enough for today. I spend the walk with the wind on my back, preparing myself for no greeting, followed by a puncturing glare at my feet, until my shoes came off, followed by a smart-ass smirk to finish off the welcoming. Instead, the uninhabited chasm of an almost forgotten home, creaking as if old bones stretching an arm out for a frail handshake to introduce itself because there is nothing familiar left, except the jacket, which I grab quickly and shut the door before any skeleton finger touches me. The walk back, with the wind on my face, is a slower pace than I may have ever kept on this property. I know it was pain slamming the door so fast. The most of my imagination spawned a ghost chasing me. I also know that this visible air about to surround me is on its way up, so excited to make more art. Fluidic sculptures can't stay still either. The floating coat rack lost its purpose because there is nothing left to hold on to. I roll my sleeves down, make some quick dig at my ill-prepared sibling, stabilizing new warmth on his shoulders, as we share a tear, realizing love will always be provided. Now, the way that combines all three aspects I spoke of, there is a man dealing with an approaching thunderstorm and shit weather, and his brother, who's obviously arguing with all of the time, but then that conflict gets resolved with providing him warmth, and also being nice, showing kindness. That's the best way to resolve most conflicts. And then with himself, he learns to accept that his mother is gone and the house is empty. They both have to move on, and life can grow better that way. So for today's prompt, I want you to pick one of those themes, either somebody against somebody else, somebody against nature, or somebody against themselves, dealing with something internally. You can be as short as long as you want with it. Just talk about a conflict and some sort of inkling of a resolution. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.